Hari Om. This is an English translation of our Guruji's online lecture, dated on the 5th of October 2023. Swamiji urges us to not look at the words directly, but to try to catch the meaning behind them. And we encourage you to do the same, as some of the meaning may have been lost during the translation. So if you don't understand something, or something doesn't strike a chord with you, then please leave it in the comment section below and we'll try to clear up any misunderstanding as best as we can. Our interest is not to create confusion, but clarity for those seeking spiritual enlightenment. Hari Om. Enjoy the video. So Swamiji starts out the online satsang by telling us about Kabir Das, a saint who lived in the 15th century. Kabir Das also had a son named Kamal, a daughter named Kamali, and a wife named Loy. During his time also lived other saints such as Surdas and Pipa. Now, as Kabir Das was aging, he had a daily routine of going for a dip in the river in the morning, then going to visit some temples, and in the afternoon he came back to the hut where his son and he lived and had lunch with him. So one day in the village which was close by Kabirji's hut, the village headman's son had contracted a disease which led to his untimely death. The atmosphere in the village was sorrowful, and one of the villagers suggested that they could take the headman's dead son to Kabirji. Maybe he could do something about the situation. So the villagers take the headman's son's body to Kabirji's hut, but because Kabirji was on his daily routine, they could not find him there. But Kamal is there, and the villagers ask him, "Where is Kabirji?" And Kamal responds by telling them about that as Kabir is growing old, he has his daily routine of taking a dip in the river, visiting some temples and coming back later in the afternoon. So Kamal inquires the villagers about what is the problem, and the village headman tells him about how his son had contracted this disease and now the son is dead, and that they would want to see Kabirji to see if the son could be brought back to life. And since it was so early that Kabir Das would not be home for quite some time, Kamal started thinking that instead of making these people wait, maybe he could do the ritual what he had seen Kabirji do when people had come to them seeking help. So what Kamal does is he takes the kamandal, which is a oblong water pot, he does 3 rounds around the dead body, says the name of Ram 3 times, and sprinkles some water on the dead body from the kamandal, and the village headman's son comes back to life. Now the villagers become overjoyed that the village headman's son had been brought back to life, and they were joyously leaving Kabir's and Kamal's hut. And as Kabir Das was coming back from his daily practice, he saw the villagers happily coming from his hut. So as Kabir comes back to the hut, he inquires from Kamal that what has happened. I saw these villagers on my way back to the house and they were celebrating. So Kamal, what has happened? And Kamal answered by saying, "Oh, nothing has happened, but I can tell you that now you can retire and go on pilgrimage and I can handle the situation over here." So now it becomes obvious to Kabirji that Kamal has acquired some false pride or ego about the knowledge that he has acquired through Kabirji, who is also his guru. So what he does next is that he tells Kamal that okay, I will go on pilgrimage, but first I would like to invite some saints here for a feast and then I will go. So he writes an invitation letter in which he writes, "My progeny is going downwards. My son, Kamal, has turned out bad." He gives this letter to Kamal and says to take it to a few saints. So Kamal takes the letter, brings it to the first saint, and the saint asks him, "What brings you here?" And Kamal answers by telling that Kabirji is growing old and he's going on a pilgrimage. But before that, he wants to arrange a feast where he is inviting all the fellow saints. And then Kamal hands the letter to the saint, and the saint reads what's written in the letter. Then the saint asks, "Kamal, has something happened lately?" And Kamal answers by telling, "Well, yes, there was this young boy who was dead and he was brought to our hut. I then did this procedure that I had seen my father do, and I then brought this young boy back to life. And to this, the saint answers, "Oh, well, if that's the case, then I have some people around here who would also need some problems taken care of. So please wait for a moment. I'll ask my disciple to go and bring them, and then you can solve their problems as well." So the saint sends out his disciple to bring these people to the saint's house, and then around 20 to 25 people arrive who need their problems solved. And as Kamal sees this, he says, "Oh, but there's so many people here. I can't fix all their problems so soon, and I really have to keep going as well." And the saint says, "Okay, don't worry." And then he takes some water from his kamandal, says the name of Ram, and sprinkles this water on all the 25 people. And all of their problems, be it grief or disease, disappear. And now Kamal starts thinking, "Oh, this saint only said the name of Ram once, when I had to say 3 times, and he was able to cure 25 people with it. So does this mean that this saint is more powerful than I am?" And now the saint says to Kamal that please take this letter and take it to Saint Surdas, and also invite him to the feast. So Kamal takes the letter to Saint Surdas' house, and Saint Surdas is blind. So he's asking Kamal that what brings him there. And Kamal tells him the same thing that he told to the previous saint about Kabir growing old and going on a pilgrimage. So then Surdas Ji says, "Okay, but before we do that, go and save that boy who is drowning in the river over that hill." So Kamal goes and drags the boy out of the river, but before he can do that, the boy has already died. So he brings this boy's body back to Surdas Ji's place, and on the way he's thinking that Surdas Ji is blind. How is it possible that he knew that this boy was drowning so far beyond the hill? And once he reached Surdas Ji's place and brought the dead boy to him, Surdas just said Ram, sprinkled some water on the dead boy, and the boy came back to life. And so again Kamal starts thinking that maybe Surdas is even a greater saint than him, and the saint that he was just visiting before. And then on his way back home, he opens the letter which Kabirdas had given him and reads the contents of the letter. And so he comes to know that my father, my guru, had sent me on this errand to correct my false pride about thinking that I had saved that boy, and me being able to solve people's problems. So when Kamal reaches home, he asks forgiveness from his father for his mistake.
Hari Om. We invite you to deepen your spiritual exploration with our newly launched ebook, Dive into the Unknown. This book offers invaluable insights by Swamiji that will guide you on your path of self-discovery and inner transformation. This book is available on all Amazon platforms across the globe. You can find the link in the description below. Also, if you'd like to explore more of these teachings in Hindi or Finnish, be sure to check out our other YouTube channels. Links to those channels are in the description below. Whether in English, Hindi or Finnish, the wisdom remains the same, timeless, universal and deeply enriching. Thank you for watching, and do make sure to like, share and subscribe. See you in the next video. Hari Om.